In this Threads Embroidery Software tutorial, we're going to digitize one of our customers' logos. So I'm going to start by clicking this icon right here, the background icon. And then I'm going to come on top of this box right here and I'm going to click this so we can load our image. It's going to start on my desktop and I'm just going to scroll down here looking for it. And here it is right here. So this is the image that we're going to digitize right here. So I'm going to start by zooming in, taking a look at it. I'm going to press F11 on the keyboard to hide everything. And using the mouse to zoom in and just take a look at the whole image. So what I'm going to do is start with this these scissors. So I'm going to do a right mouse click to bring up our digitizing menu, and I'm going to click normal, and I'm going to do what's called a lockdown. Then I'm going to come right down the middle here with our underlay, and we're not seeing any of the colors because they're the colors are inverted, or they're not inverted. What we want to do is invert them. So I do a right mouse click to bring up this menu, and I come down here and I click show inverted. And now that inverts our color so we can actually see what we're digitizing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by doing this piece right here, and I'm going to kind of go around with column stitches. So I'm going to do a right mouse click, go to art column. These are just all art columns here. This is really hard to see because it's white on white. So what I'm going to do is hit F11. I'm just going to temporarily change the color. Change it to just a red. And the colors are inverted. Again, so instead of red, it's going to show blue. But at least this is better than white. White on white. Alright, now we're done with this, all these arc pieces. So what I'm going to do is go to column and select column. And just do this last piece with columns. Alright, I'm going to click E for edit. I'm going to zoom in here with the right mouse click. I'm going to hold down shift. And I'm just going to kind of clean this up a bit. There we go. I'm going to do a right mouse click. I'm going to click show. Turn off the background. Excuse me. You can also do that by pushing B. I'm just going to smooth out some of these points a bit. And I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to hit F11. And so this is really small, this piece right here, 7 millimeters, which is what this shows right here. So that's about right. So I'm going to click show stitch mode. And as you can see, we've got this little piece right here. You can also press S and it'll go back and forth between wire mode and stitches. So I'm going to hit F11, I'm going to hit B for the background, and I'm going to hit S to go back to wire mode. You see my points are on right now, the dots around the outline there. I'm going to click P and that's point mode. That turns point mode off. And so now what we're going to do is continue with the rest of this piece. So I'm going to do a right mouse click, I'm going to go to other, I'm going to do trim, I'm going to right mouse click here to select our last point, and I'm going to trim to over here. Put a lockdown and come up here. And I'm going to do, I pressed 2 on my keyboard, which brings up columns. Number 2. It's just a shortcut. Now I'm getting to a point right here, so what I want to do is do a right mouse click, go to column, do a 3-point column, and I'm at the end. So click that end, and there we are. Now we're back to a normal. As you can see from the mouse cursor, it's a dotted line, and there's a dotted line over here. So I'm just going to walk over here like that. And I'm going to put some underlay. And I'm going to come through here and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Hold down Shift, right arrow click, hit Shift. I'm going to do a right mouse click, art column. I'm going to do just like I did on the other side. And if you don't know how to do columns and art columns, there's other tutorials we have that you might want to review. I'm just going from one side to the other, and as you can see, it's creating arcs. Alright, so we're done right there because there's no more arcs. So what I'm going to do is go right mouse click, go column, just a regular column. No, I'm just going side to side. Zoom out a bit. Now this is pretty flat here, so I'm going to come up just a bit more. And then come all the way over here like this, like that. And I'm going to do a right mouse click, go to column, 3-point column, end. There we go. Zoom out here, hold Shift. Hit F11 to bring up my whole screen again. Do full zoom, turn my background off. There's our scissors, so the height's 17, so that's probably about right. Click stitch mode in there. There we have our scissors. You might be asking about this stitch right here that's connecting. That's a fraction of a millimeter, so it's not going to matter, so that's why we didn't do a trim. We didn't necessarily have to do a trim here. We probably shouldn't have, but I just wanted to do that in the tutorial. But you can just run across right here. You don't need to do a trim because it's going to be so small no one's going to even bother to see it.